Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to mine and Frank's second episode of Pure Muscle Radio. This is the bodybuilding podcast. Today we have Regan Grimes on. Regan's been a longtime friend of mine, and him and Frank know each other as well. We're all from the same sort of area in Toronto.
I remember Regan when he was in the lineup waiting to see Antoine.
Oh yeah.
Video of it. We should put that up sometime.
Yeah, that would be hilarious to pull that.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
It's on Antoine's channel somewhere, way back. Yeah. Is that 2013?
I'm not sure, something like that.
2013 Toronto Pro, and then I did it the following year.
Yeah, so how old were you then? How old were you that?
Oh, man. I had to have been, 2013. 7 years ago. Yeah. 20.
Wow.
20, yeah.
Waiting in the lineup.
Yeah. I remember like seeing him. He was like, he had his camera where he was like a camcorder, like not even a camera, and he was videoing himself. And I just remember seeing him. I didn't even know what to say to him. I was just like, I was a huge fan,
Yeah, he was so ahead of his time back then. You know what I mean? He was like one of the only guys sort of on YouTube. He was super active. He had a lot of momentum. He was really unique back then.
No one was doing it. Yeah, no. Literally.
No.
Okay.
That's cool.
So Regan.
Yes. Yes, Frank.
Yeah, we don't know that you've been a motocross athlete, right? Like you did that for a while, right?
Yeah. I used to when I was younger. Yeah.
What made you step away from that and pursue bodybuilding? What was the main reason for that?
I think first and foremost probably the injuries, because motocross is like the most dangerous sport. It's crazy. Like you're 50 guys starting off, gate drops as fast as you can to the first corner, and then it's just an all-out like war to the end, so it's like it's something that and it gets freakier as you get better and better, and as the guys get faster and faster, you're not like in control. You can be in control yourself, but the guys that are like around you, they could come in, fly, and hit you any which way, anytime. So I incurred a few injuries. I ruptured my spleen. That was probably the worst one. I had the bars go in my stomach. Oh, wow. And that was a big one. I broke my left arm, and I sprained my left ankle, which was kind of a shitty thing.
Wow.
So that was it was definitely like the injuries that kind of got me out of it. And it was a really expensive sport too at the time. So when it came time, my dad always got us into motocross, and he was like flipping the bill. And as I was getting older, it was kind of at that time where it was my turn to start paying for stuff, and I just didn't want to. So so I kind of got out of motocross. And
so how did that translate to bodybuilding?
Yeah, so into bodybuilding, I think it was something that I was putting so much of my time into, like, because we did it very competitively. We'd compete, like, same as competing. Like, I mean, we would race on the circuit every weekend. We'd be riding all week to get better for it. So after I stopped that, I needed to fill the void with something. So I found the gym, and I started just training in the gym, and I fell in love with the results, seeing your body change. It gave me like purpose, and I just loved it. So
when did you actually stop like motocross and transition over to like deciding to do your first show? I'm sure you were always training in the gym even when you were doing motocross. Like, what age did you stop competitively, racing motocross?
It was like
I want to do a show.
Yeah, motocross. So it was grade 12. I don't know how old you are.
17,
at that point, but
17 years old.
Something, yeah, 17. Yeah. And then I was heading off to college the following year. So when I moved away from home 3.5 hours, that's when I was done completely riding. And I just pretty much, what got me into, competing was when I went to a local gym there at the college. I found a couple of people that were competing, and they were like, man, you have what it takes. You should try it. And I was just kind of wasn't really down at first. And then I just kept training, and eventually got convinced, to.
You probably love training more. But me, like, I love training more than competing, and competing just because of the love of the training.
Yeah. It's just something we love to do every day, right? And it just gives us purpose.
And how old were you when you did your first bodybuilding or your first show? Was it a bodybuilding show? Was it a fitness show? What type of show was it?
Yeah. I was 19 when I did my first one. It was a UFE show. I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah.
Ultimate Fitness events. So I did bodybuilding, I did junior bodybuilding, and I did men's fitness. Like it was like kind of what physique is, other than you could wear a costume, so you could like dress up. I wore like a firefighter hat, and I brought an axe out. It was
Yeah, we gotta see
hilarious.
some of those pictures.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll
Bring
send
some
you
of
those.
up. That's funny.
What's funny is I actually, so that category, the fitness model one, I won that one, and then the bodybuilding one, I got like second or something. So
You're
That's
better off
cool.
being a
yeah. So then afterwards, I was like asking the people, like, what should I do? Should I go forward with fitness, or should I go forward with bodybuilding? And they were had a couple of people who were like, no, you got what it takes to do bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It's just going to take some time, you know?
Yeah, the first time I saw you, I think it was a Mississauga show. So it was probably shortly after that.
Brian.
Yeah, was that 2014 or 13?
That was 2014, and then 2 weeks later did the Toronto Pro.
So in 2014, when I first saw you at that show, were you 21 or 22 years old? 21?
I was 21.
Yeah, I remember seeing you. You looked incredible.
Yes.
And right when I saw you,
2 years.
I had a friend in the show, and you beat him. You won the show.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you and thinking, wow, that guy's like, like his unbelievable lines. Genetics are incredible. I sort of knew that you were destined to be one of the best bodybuilders in the IFBB. And it wasn't long until you moved up the ranks and you got your way to the national level, and you did the nationals, competed at the top of the amateur level, get your pro card. Was it 2 or 3 times when you got your card?
So 14 was the level 1 Mississauga show, and then Toronto provincials, which was 2 weeks later, and then in 2015, and then 2015, well, the Toronto Pro, I got second to Hassan Jama. Remember that?
That's right.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
And then 1 year later, did the Canadian Nationals, and that was what did I get? 6th place. So it knocked me out, where like I couldn't go back the next year. I had to requalify.
Right.
So I was like all fired up, and I was like, I'm not waiting another year like to redo this, So what I did was like 7 months or 8 months later, 7 to 8 months was the Arnold Classic, and I ended up doing the Arnold Classic, Ohio, and then I got second in the super heavyweight. Then I was like, damn, that was like too close. You know how there's like, you got Ohio, Australia, and then Brazil. They're kind of like back to back, that whole run. So I skipped Australia, and then I went right to Brazil, and I ended up winning the men's overall bodybuilding, and the bodybuilding men's. So it was cool.
Got your pro card in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
amazing. So really, it was only like at the national level. Was it only that year that you competed at the national level?
Yeah,
So
one time. Yeah.
Yeah, you got your card the first year. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
How old were you?
Yeah.
How old were you got your pro card?
I was 20. I think 2022. Pretty sure it's 22.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
I'm very often.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really long after that. I remember hearing like Jay Cutler on an interview or somewhere on social media. Jay like pretty much said like, you could be a future Mr. Olympia. Being as young as you were, getting your pro card. How did that feel hearing someone like, one of the greatest bodybuilders of all times saying, Regan Grimes could be a Mr. Olympia? Yeah,
just surreal. Like I don't know. I hear that, and I'm just like, all I can do is like do the work, right? Like you can't let something like that go to your head or like get crazy, because you got there's a lot in between there that hopefully I can fulfill, and that's all up to me, and yeah.
Well, that's something I think we want to know too, is because you've been so successful at such a young age, not just in bodybuilding, but in social media, you become very popular very fast. And long as I've known you, you've always been the nicest guy, very humble. It hasn't gone to your head. What do you attribute to that? Like, a lot of guys, they, think they're better than everybody else, or, it's so easy and they think they're famous and stuff. So how do you take on all that stuff?
I don't know. I think it's just kind of the way I was brought up. I have a great family, and just the way I am. And I see kind of like, maybe I see that behavior like elsewhere, and I'm like, it's just disgusting, like I hate that. Like I just I see people that are like that, and it's like, wow, like how are you like this? Like
it's so good
crazy.
at such a young age. It's it's so good to see someone, because like everybody likes you. You know, I mean, I don't hear much bad stuff about Regan Grimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, thanks, man.
Yeah. So like I'm saying, like such a young age, and plus you're very popular, and even I guess you deal with a lot of backlash too. You know what I mean? Dealing with the negative things when people.
Yeah.
You know, we talked this before. I think maybe when you didn't, people will say, "Oh, he's all hype," or you know, we'll say because you didn't win a show, you did a pro show, and you didn't come in 100% and stuff, and then people just, you know, try to trash talk you, whatever,
try to write you off,
and you don't. It doesn't ever bother you.
Yeah, no, I try not to let it bother me. I mean, if you know, like the thing is, if I didn't come in a certain way that they thought, or actually, first things first on that kind of thing is like the people that were there at the show actually see how you look, and the people that see the certain pictures and certain videos, like it doesn't really reflect all the time, how they really look. So I mean, all that matters is what my coach says, and something like that. Yeah. Which is Dorian here, if you didn't know, guys. I'm pretty sure you all know.
Yeah. That's cool. One thing that's like, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering is like, obviously you're, an amazing bodybuilder. But like, it seems like you were sort of ahead of everyone else, and very early on in your career, you realized there was more to bodybuilding than just competing. I remember in your early years, you were vlogging, your preparations. You seem to be very in tune with social media, being an entrepreneur, marketing yourself. When you're 20 years old, you had your own watch line. I remember the Boom watches. That transition to opening your own gym when you were really young. You have your own apparel line. You seem to be really focused. At what point, or like what made you decide, like, I'm going to put my time into like YouTube, social media, building these businesses? Because here we are, like, 7-8 years later, and you're like one of the most marketable, one of the most popular bodybuilders, on the scene.
Sorry, guys. No, So, like something like that, like you said, being on top of social media is that, like, this is competing and being a bodybuilder. You're not gonna make like a living really from that, like unless you're literally winning the shows, like being the top, like Phil Heath, for instance. Like, I don't know, what is it, $500,000 like for winning the Mr. Olympia?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Something like that. Yeah. I think like for me, filming and doing the videos and stuff, I really enjoy doing that, and I like sharing like the journey with everybody. So they kind of like, because it's such a the sport we do is very strange, like for a lot of people, right? They don't really understand, like, why are you eating 6 times? Why are you getting massage therapy 3 times where it's not even enjoyable? It's like so I think it's just something that I've always enjoyed, is kind of just like sharing that with everyone that loves bodybuilding. And it's a way for like me to relate and connect with others. And I don't know, something about like having the camera on while I'm in prep, it just kind of like motivates me even more, just like kind of like having it.
So
like
you naturally enjoy, you like sharing your prep with people, showing them a part of your life. Yeah, that's cool.
So I think it's something that's like really important, obviously, if you're trying to be successful in bodybuilding, is taking care of that side, because competing is just like half of it, right?
Yeah, because the industry is also. Go ahead, Frank.
I was gonna say, do you find other bodybuilders who are on the same level as you, and they might not be as popular as you because they don't put the effort into their social media or whatever,
right,
that they have something against you because you're so popular? Like people have like, oh, I'm just as popular as him. I'm just as good as bodybuilder as Regan. Why don't I get paid what he gets paid? Or what? How come he has followers? How come I only have 10,000 followers? You know what I mean?
Right.
You come across
it definitely. Yeah, like, I mean, I think I feel that sometimes for certain people, but I think it's just going above and beyond. Like, it's just like, you know, when you're tired, like you just got to do it. You just bring the camera out and you get the clips, you get it done. And it's, sometimes you're tired and you don't want to do it, to be honest, but a lot of the time it just comes natural for me and I just enjoy it. So it's not like an extra burden really, but I think it's just something for those type of people that just, I don't know, is it lazy or they just don't.
Well, I think the industry has just changed too. Like, I mean, you know, 10 years ago, people used to get paid to be a professional bodybuilder and compete.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
yeah,
in a contract, they would sign, they would pay you X amount of dollars, and your obligations would pretty much be competing and then a couple photo shoots after the show for the magazines.
And then totally showing up to an expo. Yeah,
exactly. Where now it's social like media, everything.
So true. It's like now you're compensated via like X amount of posts, and you know, it's not just being a name or a face. You have to actually represent on a daily basis, and that's what companies are looking for. They want you to live the brand, right?
It's like there's some people who are not even good bodybuilders that are making a lot of money or really popular.
They're just great at sharing their experience and their journey, and it's just content like people like to watch, I think.
That's why I think that some people do complain about not being popular because they don't have the personality or want to show the personality. They don't want to put themselves out there because it's not easy to put yourself out there all the time.
No, like, for sure. Well, there's a lot of hate. You get a lot of hate if you put yourself out there. You're gonna get hate.
And some people can't deal with it. We've all felt it, I think, a bit, and it can be hard sometimes. But you know, as long as you're getting more good than bad, and you get a lot of good.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's just hard for a lot of people too, just at first, to break out of their shell, right? Because it's like, if you've never done it and you've never like shown that part of your life or been active on social media, it's just like once you do it a couple times or you make it a routine, it sort of starts to become normal for you, right? But it's just like,
I see you, Dorian. I see you on that Instagram story.
I'm getting pretty good.
I watched that.
No,
I know.
No, you know me. I hate it, right? Like
you hate it, but it's not. It's nice. Everyone wants to see that. Like, you know, because you just started it, and it's really cool.
It's just practice, really. Just be yourself on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really is. That's also the thing I don't.
I got to be honest. It's something for me, even like doing more Instagram stories. Like, I like to share like little like glimpse of my day, you know, this meal, you know, I'm doing this, or I'm packing orders for my clothing company, or at the gym, we got something going on. But I don't know, something about like the camera. I'd rather vlog for like YouTube than like, you do a lot of Q&As like on your Instagram, Frank, I see.
Yeah. Just you said, I'm sure you do too, just a way of just getting people in contact with you, right? People just want to know what you're doing. They want to know what you do all day. They want. How many people how many young guys want to be Regan Grimes? I mean, they all do, right? You know what I mean? And they want to know, okay, what's he do all day? What's he?
No. You
know, they want to know these things.
For sure, yeah. Just sharing different things. What's he eating? What's he training? Stuff like that.
What's he doing when he's not training? What does he do when he's home? You know, it's the smallest thing they just want to know.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, and you've been married for, is it 3 years? Going on 3 years now. You've been married.
Me? Yeah.
Have you been with Victoria like since you began bodybuilding, or was there ever a time when you were bodybuilding and you were single? Like
at the beginning when I did my first show. And that like the UFE one when I was 19.
Yeah.
Because I actually moved home I moved away to college, and then I started the preparation for the show, and I actually dropped out of college and moved home while I was in prep. Okay. Finished the show, and then after I was done the show, I moved back to college and got OSAP again and dropped out again and just continued bodybuilding.
Oh wow. So do you think it helped you though, like being in a relationship from the beginning of bodybuilding? Do you think that was a contributing factor to sort of like keeping you on track, keeping you consistent? Because you see a lot of guys that are top level bodybuilders, and they are married, they're in relationships, and you also see a lot of guys that waste a lot of years because they're
Oh,
messing around with girls because they're getting a lot of attention because
yeah,
you're
I was a
popular on
shithead.
social media. I'm sure like you
Yeah,
get tons of DMs from girls. So, being married, has that been a contributing
yeah.
factor to where you
Huge,
are today?
huge factor. I mean, you're not looking to go, partying on the Friday nights. You're having a date night and going to the movies, So
Yeah.
it really definitely like, not that it like held me down, but it was like it like locked me down. Whereas like I didn't need those things, because I had everything I need there.
Mhm.
And I was really able to excel once that was a thing. And it really helped because Tori also was competing herself. So it was
Oh,
kind
that's
of like
awesome.
she knew what to expect. Whereas like, so like, when you get like 4 to 6 weeks out, your whole life is just this prep, and you kind of go, it's a very selfish sport. So you're kind of doing things all for yourself. And she understood all that and supported it. And I think it's huge when you're going to
Yeah.
be doing this sport. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Actually, funny
absolutely.
story. My first show. So the 2014 Mississauga one, I was like 4 weeks out or 5 weeks, and I had like Victoria went to the gym. We lived like where you could walk 5 minutes, go to the gym. I was up in our apartment, and I was like just feeling. I took my progress shots, and I'm like feeling down. I'm like, I'm not going to be ready. Like, there's no way, And I got down on myself, sitting in the bed. I'm like, screw it. I text Vic. I'm like, I'm going to get sushi. Like, I'm out. She left the gym, came back. She's like, you're not going anywhere. Sit
That's
down
funny.
and eat your food. And then I ended up winning that show, and
Yeah.
it was crazy. Yeah.
I think
But
that's,
so that's like the support that you need.
yeah, the support is definitely
Yeah.
important in bodybuilding, because people think, it's a lonely sport, but really, if you think about it, it's really not. You do have to do a lot of things alone, but at the end of the day, you do have to rely on some other people. But like, also
For sure.
is like,
Yeah.
you've been coached by a few different people, and I'm sure you get asked by a lot of different coaches, to be coached by them, whatever. Why
Mhm.
did you and Dorian hook up? Like, why is Dorian your coach right now?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we've been great friends for a long time. Actually, what's crazy is that was it Dorian in 2015 when I did that nationals, right?
Yeah.
I came to Dorian, we met up for a workout. Actually, we're just hanging out, chatting about some stuff. And I was like, Dorian, like I needed a coach. And who do you think would be the right coach for me? And Dorian, as you've worked with many people
Yeah.
also, right?
Yeah. I work
As
with
you
pretty much all the
were in the
coaches.
competing space, literally every coach. He knew like this one would be good for this one would be for that, and he actually Dorian set me up with Chris Aceto in 2015, which I did the nationals, and then I did the Arnold Brazil in my first year competing as a pro bodybuilder. Long story short, Dorian and I have been great friends for a long time. He's always been there for me through the sport and been a huge mentor. So, I mean, I've really been thankful for that. And I think it just made sense to work together moving forward. Dorian's a huge advocate of, staying healthy, and I want to do this sport for a long time. So it was great. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense, right? It's like,
I
we
love it,
live
man.
so close
Yeah.
together. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It just made sense that I sort of evolved as a coach, and I was helping a lot of guys,
Yeah.
and had the
Learning.
confidence to coach,
Mm-hmm.
some of the best bodybuilders, and Regan being so close, we can kind of like hook up on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis and just work closer together, right? So it just sort of made
awesome.
sense. Yeah. That's cool.
No,
Awesome.
that's
So
great.
what's this year been like? I mean, you started this year off with pretty much, leading in points almost, or like one of the highest leaders in points for the Olympia.
Yeah.
Goal is to do the Olympia. This year has been like just absolutely crazy with the pandemic.
Crazy.
So how have you sort of dealt with that? Were you going to be doing any spring shows, or were you always anticipating on doing a show close to the Olympia? But now the Olympia is all the way in December. How have you managed to sort of make adjustments and, remain focused on getting to the Olympia?
Yeah, I mean, well, when COVID hit, we had to close the gym. Had Flexplex there, and I think it was like March 15th or something. You guys did too, right up here.
Yeah.
And it was just like a huge shock to us, So like we had to shut it down. Fortunately, I was able to continue training. Like I could go in there myself, which was huge. Obviously, if I couldn't train, I think I'd go crazy. So then pretty much eyes have been set on the Olympia since like after, we did Japan and Romania last year, having 8 points. I think we were in third for points. And I think Steve Kuklo is also tied for 8 points. Now there's been a few more shows in between. I think Ian Valier's there as well, with 8 points. So pretty much the focus is now, I'm like seven weeks to the Boston Pro. It was October 10th, and that was kind of what we were aiming for. So hopefully that was that was canceled. So now there's the Chicago Pro, which is
which I think I heard
1 week after that.
Chicago might actually be in Atlanta. So I think I just heard that today.
Okay.
It might be moved to Atlanta.
Okay.
I don't think Chicago's a good state.
I was gonna say, because I asked around a little bit, and like Chicago is pretty much a no-go. Like I think they're looking for somewhere else maybe to put it. So that's
regardless, they're gonna have the show. And it just might be in Tampa.
Okay, they are gonna for sure.
For sure, it's gonna be there. It's just maybe not in Chicago. So
in Chicago. Okay. And then you got Spain Pro, which is the same date as Boston was, and they just mentioned that they're going to give away the top three there get to qualify for Olympia.
It's crazy.
So
We've
that's
never
pretty
seen
crazy.
That
Never. No.
It's kind of strange.
I guess because
go ahead.
I guess it's because the Europeans, they can't come over to the U.S. shows, so they want to give them a fair chance, or
So you say it's top three?
Yeah, top three get to go to Olympia.
That's what it used to be for all shows.
Really?
Yeah, that's
No way.
Top three to pro show, you qualify for Olympia.
How many guys were at the Olympia back then? Did they have? Did they just have less shows, or around 20 guys?
When you did it, Frank, how many guys were there?
Yeah.
Like 20.
20.
But I think the thing is, why they changed it is because you get a real popular bodybuilder, he'd qualify, and then he won't do no more shows the whole year. So nobody gets to see him. So now that you have to do all your points, you have to compete more often. People are going to go to the shows more often. Like, okay, Regan didn't win this show, so Regan's going to be at this show. Regan's going to be at the next show. Different. You got top three, you might say, hey, I'm going to rest and just wait for the Olympia.
So the guys that get in the top three, they'll just, okay, I'll hit the Olympia now. I'm done.
That's
now it's only one person.
I got third at Tampa, and that's how I qualified.
Yeah. No, that's sweet.
I think that was the last year they did that.
They want to see more of the athletes, right? They want the shows to be more competitive.
Yeah.
They want more people to be more active. Ultimately, it's probably better for the sport, right? It keeps the Olympia
it's
higher caliber,
more prestigious. It's like it's hard to get in, I guess. Yeah.
No,
so how do you feel about? I mean, you have a few friends that might be doing the same shows as you this year. Maybe, you never know, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I don't think anybody knows exactly what we're doing, but like, how do you feel about competing against people like your friends and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, we all have our strengths and we all have like little weaknesses, and I think it's just going to be a lot of fun, and I think the experience is going to be just better doing it with your friends, So I hope we all can make it to the Olympia, and we're all like, get a huge Airbnb there and just have a good time.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think back in the day, there was a lot of camaraderie. And then for a while, I feel like everybody like hated each other.
Yeah.
I feel now it's kind of going back to like people are being like, you can be your friends and still compete at the same show. Cause like, it's strange how it's going back and forth like that. But
I think it's changing a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you got so we got Quinton and we got Antoine and myself in the next like couple shows coming up. So I don't know. I feel like, if anyone could take it. I mean, we're all, I think, we're all at our best. I think, it could be anyone's show, I think. So
ultimately you guys all support each other. We all train together here and there. I think the competition's great. I think it's I think in this day and age, I'm seeing more camaraderie. I think with how connected everyone is on social media. Back in the day, people would kind of hide and be to themselves. And I at least see that more people are sort of like supporting one another. Yeah, and I feel like our group here in Canada, we're really close. We all support each other, and it sort of benefits everyone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I know it's.
I mean,
for sure.
like I didn't like going to a show and not knowing anybody.
Yeah, I know.
Like, do go to a show and you're like backstage by yourself. You're like, oh man, like I'm freaked out. And then I've had times when I was like, I competed against Antoine before, and it was so much fun. You know what I mean? Like,
I remember that. Yeah,
it was. Spend the whole weekend with me, him, was Mike Johnson, and a few other people.
Those videos are crazy.
Yeah, like it was so much fun. Like I remember we're all in the same hotel room eating brownies and.
Yeah, you're just eating everything.
Go together and not have to walk in somewhere by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, get a lot more, made it more fun, easy.
Definitely makes it more fun.
Yeah.
I know you're planning on going to the Cali Pro to support one of your friends who's competing who I don't know if they've announced it yet. But if I'm coaching you, so I know we've sort of picked things up a little bit. We're trying to get in shape ahead of time just in case any other shows open up.
Pushing it.
Yeah, if you happen to be in shape, you know what I mean, and we're ready a week out, 10 days out, would you consider competing in the Cali Pro in Vegas?
Yeah, I think yeah, I think that's hilarious. Yeah, I think so. Like, I think let's just see it. We're just going day by day right now, and we're just taking it by storm. We're definitely pushing down harder than we were, say, 2 weeks ago when we found out, that this show was going to be a go and it's going to move to Vegas, which is pretty cool.
It's confirmed.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go. Like, I want to go to support my friend, and then if we're feeling like we're ready in time, which we're pushing hard right now, cardio in the morning, cardio post workout, we're carb cycling heavier a little bit, and the body is responding. So I'm really happy with how things are going. And let's just see, 1 week out how we're looking, and kind of make a move from there.
Yeah. No, I have a feeling we're going to see you on the Cali Pro stage.
Oh.
I think I'm pushing for it. I'm pushing for it. Yeah.
I'm acting like I guess let's say I'm acting like I'm doing it, but let's see how the body gets.
Yeah. No, you responded really well this prep. I mean, we started for the Boston Pro, and we didn't really push cardio. We weren't really pushing a deficit too hard.
No.
Your body just got in a really good groove, and it was just making improvements, week to week without putting too much stress on the body. So I think we're in a good spot. We're seeing really good changes every couple of days. So it's, I think what is the Cali show now? Is it 3 weeks out this weekend?
Cali would be 3 weeks, yes, from Saturday. So
3 weeks
October, the 12th of September, right?
Yeah, 12th. So there's still lots of time. So, we have another 2 weeks to sort of push and see where we're at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and then our thing is like, if we don't end up, the thing is like, we're already in a much better spot to get better and better for the next show that comes up. So that whether it be at Spain or Chicago, personally, like, I would love to go to Spain. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. But just depending on travel, I try to look it up on the internet. It's like I can't find anything.
I'm pretty sure we can go to Spain, because I mean, Noah's gone to Europe. Noah's been to Spain.
Right.
Just when you come back, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks for Canadians.
Quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So Spain is an option.
See.
Yeah. Americans can't do it, but Canadians can.
Oh, love to be Canadian.
Yeah.
Love to be Canadian.
Yeah. One last question I had for you. I mean, Frank might have another one too, but one thing I was wondering was, like, growing up, 19 years old, decided you want to be a bodybuilder, do your first show when you were 19 or 20. Who were your biggest inspirations? Like, who were you watching on, like, YouTube or whatever, the internet? Who were you aspiring to be like? Who were you looking at in the magazines? Was it Jay Cutler? Was it someone like Frank McGrath? Who was it?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like at the time, I would say, like, who I was looking up to. Obviously we got the Canadians, right? So, like, Antoine was a huge, motivation for me, because I felt like I think he's what? How many years older is Antoine? Like 4 or 5, maybe? 4?
Yeah, Antoine's 1987. You're a 93, right?
I'm 20,
so you're
93. So 5 years.
5 or 6, yeah. 5
Anyway,
or 6
so
years, yeah.
yeah, 6 years. So I kind of like looked up to him. I was like, geez, like I feel like it's possible that I could maybe look like that, you know?
Yeah.
And he's not like Phil Heath looking, where it's like you're just not going to look like that, you know? Like not anyone.
Well, he's more your height.
Like
you know, you guys are both 6 feet
my
tall.
height.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, and he was spitting out content like crazy, and I just loved watching him. And he's fellow Canadian, so you know. And then you got Frankie here too. So it was a beast.
I think everyone growing up, you know what I mean? Like looked up to Frank, you know, the animal ads.
For sure.
Yeah.
Those
awesome.
are badass. Yeah.
And who was your favorite, like,
and then,
top bodybuilder at that time?
And then the top body, like obviously for bodybuilding, it was Jay Cutler. I just like loved, you know, obviously like just how, you know, consistent and persistent he was. Like losing to Ronnie, he wins, you know, and you know, comes back and wins 4 times. You know, it's just awesome. And then he's just like a great ambassador for the sport. He's, you know, humble guy, and you know, I just feel like how he's done his career is just like goals, you know.
No, what I always loved about Jay, like some people found his like videos and stuff like in the early 2000s like maybe boring, but I loved them because like he showed you into his life, and like, you know, he'd go in his fridge, he'd go in his cabinet, and I'd be like, what protein is he using? You know, what rice is he using? I loved seeing all that, and he gave you so much information in his videos on what he was doing and his training. He'd talk about his training and show the whole workout. So I love Jay. Like I loved watching and studying all Jay's videos, and I would use him as inspiration. I would watch his workout, the back workout that day or his chest workout, and I would go to the gym and I'd do the exact same workout.
I still do it. I still do YouTube.
That's cool.
I still do it.
Yeah, we got him on up here. We put his if I'm doing chest or something, I'll go to the controller on the YouTube. And
Jay Cutler bodybuilding motivation.
But I don't know if Regan might be too young, Dorian maybe too, but like DVD or VHS of like all the like color cut above that video.
I got them all, A to Z, cut above.
I don't have any of them. I wish I did.
I got VHSs. I got original like Ronnie Coleman VHSs, Kevin the Brony, American Muscle Machine. Yeah, I got the VHSs.
You know what I missed? I missed Road Olympia.
Yeah, they were great.
Road Olympia.
What was his name? Misuru or?
Yeah, those were awesome videos, man. You see everybody.
That's awesome.
I got like 3 or 4 of them.
That's sick.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, that was the thing.
You need to start that over. You need to start it up again. Get Regan.
Right?
Yeah, that was the thing. Cool. Jay just like lived and breathed bodybuilding while he was coming up, eh?
Yeah,
like
he's
even
done such a great job.
Like, man, like even now though, like I just look up to it because it's like I was, for instance, like last year we're at the FIBO and we work the booth all day long. We go to the lobby, you know, we have a meal, we sit there for 2 hours, have another meal, sit there, and then literally I think we had 3 meals like while we sat in the lobby for like 6-7 hours. Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, let's go train." I'm like, okay. It's like 10:30, 11 at night, and he just loves to train.
He loves it. He sleeps and breathes it, right? It's his lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see like how he's evolved from like a competitive bodybuilder, and he's always been a really good businessman, and now he's got his own businesses, and he's just killing it. And he's such a great ambassador and representative for bodybuilding and for the younger generation on, you know what I mean, sort of what, you know, following his footsteps, right?
Well, you know, I think it's wrong this sport too is like you've got a lot of guys that are like amazing bodybuilders, but once they stop competing, then there's nothing else. Jay is still just popular. He hasn't competed in 8 years at least.
Yeah.
7, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And you go to any expo.
Yeah,
he's gonna have crazy lineup still.
Yeah,
every week he's somewhere.
Yeah, it comes down to effort and consistency. When you look at Jay, you know, before maybe it was bodybuilding, but as soon as you stop bodybuilding, all his effort and he's consistent with his business.
Yes, exactly. Which is like a lot of effort, right? So it's like if he was able to transfer that, it was just it just translated. Like,
he's a workhorse.
He's still
he literally is. I think he's just like, what's the point of me sitting at home on a weekend if you can go to an expo, you know, and meet a bunch of people.
He still trains, he still eats well, he still does his cardio.
I know.
it's like he might, obviously do what he used to do, but like, dude, the guy still looks great.
Still looks awesome. Yeah, and I asked him, like, I don't even think he has any pain, like no injuries in the gym. He trains fine.
Well, he doesn't train too heavy anymore, does he?
No, but he still pushes decent, like when you're in the gym.
The thing with Jay is like people always think like, oh, Jay didn't train though to failure or train heavy, but Jay trained with very short rest periods and did high volume. So it's all relative, Let's say, for example, he was incline pressing 110s, 120s, but like he was only resting 45 to 60 seconds. So do 5 sets of that.
Smashing it again.
And it's really hard. It's really heavy.
You're getting tired.
Yeah.
He's just going for like the craziest pump.
Yeah.
Pretty much. He always trained like for the pump.
Kept him healthy, right? And kept all of his joints and everything healthy. So he found what training style worked for him and he just capitalized on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I think you're very much similar to that, Regan, where like you have a very good mind muscle connection to, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
You have a very good mind muscle connection with your muscles. You're very in tune with your training and you know what works for you and you sort of capitalize on that. You know what I mean? You don't you don't listen to just because someone else says, oh, you have to train heavy and you have to train to failure or progressive overload or, forced reps. You don't get caught up in that. You know what works well for you and what feels good. You've got this fire with that and you train very instinctively, right? Which I think is why you have such a crazy physique, right? So
no, thank you. Yeah, well, just by feel, pretty much.
I've heard people mention about your training before. You don't train hard or you don't train heavy, and that's why you're not.
That's funny.
You know what I mean? And it's like, what do you
just a Pillsbury doughboy over here. Train too light, eh? Yeah.
So what do you think? Man. Like you said, Dorian's right though. You're working what works best for you, right?
Yeah. I guess we'll talk. We don't need to talk. We'll just get on stage. There you
go.
But again, it's all relative, right? It's like, what is training hard to failure? Just because, someone shows their hardest to failure set with 2.5 minutes rest and they're pushing around big weight, it's all relative. Like I've trained you lots of times, Regan, and you're super strong. You know what I mean? So it's all relative. How much are you resting? What type of isolation are you putting on the muscle? I know right now you're doing a lot of like slow, isolated exercises. Right. So
really
it's like,
enjoying that. Yeah.
It's all relative to how you're sort of training. It's, different training styles.
I think everyone's built differently too. Like, I mean, to be honest, if I went in the gym and I went like short, longer rest periods and like really, really heavy, my joints are going to suffer. Like I'm going to feel that,
so I train tiny, like, your ankles,
tiny,
your knees,
like I don't
tiny joints.
Like, so that's like something that is definitely, maybe people don't understand those things, right? So it's like, and it's crazy because it's like not like I train light, like I still train very heavy, and I mean I don't always show those heavy sets because maybe I'm trying to show the form more, and it's only the people that really like are actually around me know how I train, but it's I just train for the feel and I train for how I feel like I need to, and if it's working and I'm staying injury free and I can do this for a long time, then that's the best, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's great. I think we pretty much covered everything. Frank, is there any other questions you had for Regan?
No, that's it. You got me. That's what I was going to ask him too about the training.
Yeah, the training. Yeah. Well, that wraps up this episode of Pure Muscle Radio. Regan, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
That was awesome.